Carlson has called out his fellow conservatives for downplaying and even in some cases celebrating the fatal ICE shooting of US citizen Renee Good. Cenk, are you surprised by this?
I am, and I am pleasantly surprised, and I don't mind saying it. I think what's happening is that the online shows freed from corporate media, Fox News, MSNBC, etc., are now beginning to realize where the American people lie. And the majority of American people were already against mass deportations, let alone these massively excessive violence that is being used. And this was unfortunately a perfect example of it. So I think what people like Tucker Carlson are doing is they're beginning to see, oh, most decent people don't want a 37-year-old Christian woman being shot in the head 3 times because she was trying to run away from law enforcement in that case. So look, this is the development that I was hoping for, but let's give you the facts on what he said.
I do want to just make a quick caveat to your statement about the difference between, corporate media and online digital independent media. There is an exception because Daily Wire hosts are certainly part of the digital media, part that we are in, obviously not ideologically, but in terms of where we air and broadcast our show. They seem to have an inherent interest in dividing the country, because what we've heard from Matt Walsh in the follow-up to this disastrous and tragic incident is only meant to divide Americans. But in the case of Tucker Carlson, he's trying to get people to think a little differently. And I think it's important for people to maybe consider this approach. So his newsletter had the title, "The Minnesota Shooting, Venezuela, Gaza, It's All Connected." Interesting. Now, Carlson begins by stating that yesterday's shooting has served as an opportunity for conservatives to score political points because Good should not have been blocking the road with her car. Hysterical protesters took to the streets, and liberal leaders like Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are behaving like children. So there was some, typical conservative throat clearing that took place early on in this newsletter. However, that aside, he continues with this. The 37-year-old was an American citizen and reportedly the mother of a kindergarten-age child. I should note that, her child is now an orphan because the father of that child passed away previously. It's just it's tragic. I mean, if you value human life and you think about what the future of that child is going to be, it's a tragic story. It's not something to celebrate or win, political brownie points on. But nonetheless, he also says, did we disagree with her views on immigration? Probably, but that shouldn't matter. Her death is a tragedy regardless of her partisan affiliations, ideological beliefs, or who pulled the trigger. How come so few conservatives are viewing this story through a human lens? And why, when something similar, like the killing of Charlie Kirk, happens on the other side, did many on the left celebrate because they thought his political positions were wrong? And here's Carlson's explanation for why the country is currently undergoing this type of depraved culture. Violence around the world is desensitizing Americans to violence at home.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, and I said something similar to that during the show yesterday when I was covering this story. I do think that we've been desensitized to people getting killed constantly. We've been seeing images of it everywhere for the last 2 years, certainly. And I do think that makes you kind of see human life as something that's just totally disposable. Who cares? Did they agree with my politics?
Yeah, so look, we were super clear on when Charlie Kirk got killed, and we had a human reaction to it, which was that, oh my God, that was horrific. He got shot in the neck, he's got kids, he's so young. That's just outrageous. We should all have that same reaction, whether it's left or right, super obvious. And Tucker, said something that's similar to what you said yesterday. And I didn't see his newsletter this morning. We wrote something nearly identical. So Anna's gonna give you more of his quotes, and then I'll give you the tweet that I had. And when populist right and left are beginning to agree, not just about Israel, not just about Epstein files, but about core issues here in America, lower prices, taking care of the average American, and now even how we treat each other. Oh, that's such a welcome change. So you're not seeing it everywhere, but you are seeing it here, and you're seeing it with Tucker Carlson. And I think that's a development that we should all greatly welcome.
So, he makes the connection to US foreign policy. So he points out that the kidnapping of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was part of a larger operation. And if we take US officials at their word, that operation claimed the lives of 75 people in Venezuela. I've seen reports that the number is higher, but let's just take that at face value for the sake of this discussion. Venezuelan officials do state that the death toll is higher. Now, he says, did you know that? Is anyone in Washington or the media talking about it? Dave DeCampo over at antiwar.com has been talking about it, but I take his point. Not many people have been. And then he continues, it doesn't matter how anti-Maduro you are. The deaths of the human beings in his country, even if they were his paid protectors, were tragic, just like Good's killing should be seen as a horror show, even from a right-wing perspective. So Carlson cites two other examples of the American government sponsoring violence abroad, and that includes the killing of innocent civilians in Gaza, as well as the killing of Russian combatants and civilians. And he says, America's leaders must stop normalizing bloodshed. That means pulling the plug on funding ethnic cleansing, viewing war as the last option rather than the first. And please, for the love of God, no more Lindsey Graham frothing over the titillating excitement of killing people. I mean, that video of Lindsey Graham after Maduro was abducted, he's on Air Force One. I mean, I've never seen a grown man so giddy in my life. It's amazing. It really is.
And he literally bragged about how many people they killed and how he can't wait for them to kill more and more people. He's a sick, depraved man. And we would have, that would have been obvious to us 20 years ago in this country. If you saw a senator acting like that, I want to kill more people, people would have been super freaked out by it. And part of the problem here is that it's become normal. So Tucker's making that point, and this morning, unaware of his newsletter, I wrote this on X. I remember a time when no one celebrated the death of a 37-year-old mom, that even if you thought it was necessary, you still thought it was a tragedy, and no one thought it was tough, cool, or manly to shoot an unarmed woman in the head. We should have mourned this together. So, and as I see at least Tucker Carlson mourning it, again, no matter what, if you think she did the right thing or the wrong thing, how could you not think that her being shot is a tragedy? Is that a thing to celebrate? Is that a thing where you go, she had it coming? So some now are saying, well, we're not celebrating. We're not celebrating. Although it really looked like it, guys. Really, really looks like it. But then they say, well, she shouldn't have done that. So she should have been with her home with her kid. But she was apparently dropping off her kid. And she has 3 kids, by the way, 2 from an earlier marriage. So.
Can I? Yeah. Let me just say something, because there's been a lot of talk about how the ICE agent, the armed ICE agent, was feeling and how scared he was, right? I remember I was pumping gas when a sting operation was underway. So everything's quiet. There's nothing going on at the gas station. I'm pumping gas. And then suddenly all these like SWAT vehicles show up, armed cops. I freaked out. I got so scared. I got in the car and like wanted to drive away with the gas pump still, attached to my vehicle. Like I was in panic mode. Now, luckily nothing happened, right? But when you see a bunch of law enforcement, or in this case, federal agents armed and swarming around your car, how come no one's thinking about how scared she might have been? You know what I'm saying?
100%. Why do you think she tried to pull away from them? She was panicking, right?
Yeah.
And so if you think she deserved to be killed for that, that's amazing to me. But I can't believe that Tucker Carlson, of all people, I could believe it today if you told me 2 years ago, Tucker Carlson is going to be the one saying maybe we shouldn't celebrate a poor woman dying like this. Everybody on the right, bring it down. I would have been shocked, and I'm glad I'm shocked.
Definitely. Did you want to read Elon Musk's response to you?
No, Elon Musk responded to me, but it's not that interesting. He's in the camp of so what, basically, and this whole thing of, and a lot of the guys are saying this is social media on the right, F around and find out. Is that what you want to say about a 37-year-old mom who left three kids behind? Come on, man, be better than that. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.